neon skies, but I learned early what matters most. A steady hand when the storm gets close. I don't need a throne to know my worth. I built my kingdom here on earth. I'm a king without a crown. No castle walls, no fame around. I stand my ground when the lights go down. A king without a crown. No servants here, no royal name. Just lessons learned through loss and pain. The world keeps spinning, I stay the same. A king without a crown. Shadows that never stay. I've raised a glass to the fallen few and carried ghosts like gentlemen do. The rich may own the city's gold, but they can't buy a heart that's whole. When everything is stripped away, character is the price you pay. The strongest steel survives the flame. That's how a man earns his name. I'm a king without a crown. No castle walls, no fame around. I stand my ground when the lights go down. The king without a crown. No servants here, no royal name. Just lessons learned through loss and pain. The world keeps spinning, I stay the same. A king without a crown. No applause in the dead of night. No one sees the private fights, but every scar beneath my skin reminds me where I've always been. I don't need the world to understand. A quiet man can still command. I'm a king without a crown. No golden throne to weigh me down. The rain keeps falling on this town. Still I wear no crown. The years may bend these tired bones, but I'll never bow to what I don't own. When my final sunset comes around, I'll leave this world. A king without a crown. Slow guitar bends. Thunder in the distance. The civilians sleep because they trust the system. The watchdogs sleep because they are blind. I stay awake because I own both of them. city sleeps beneath the digital haze. Firewalls flicker through the corporate maze. Shell companies drift down offshore lanes, while I quietly extract the final gains. The market's closed, the daylight is gone. The politicians have all moved on, but the syndicate never shuts down. I wear the midnight silence like a crown. Every hidden legend knows my name. Every rival burns inside the flame. I am the last man awake tonight, watching the global markets bleed out white. No regulators left to track the flight, just offshore accounts and satellite lights. I am the last man awake tonight, manipulating every wrong and right, while the federal watchdogs dream away. I am the apex predator at play. An encrypted drive inside my coat, blackmail files on the men who vote. Some were bought, some turned to dust. There is nobody left I need to trust. The algorithms move like phantom trains, laundering capital through unseen veins. They say that life is not about control. I say you buy the world and own it whole. The midnight hour asks no questions here. It only breeds the architects of fear. I am the last man awake tonight, watching the global markets bleed out white. No regulators left to track the flight, just offshore accounts and satellite lights. I am the last man awake tonight, manipulating every wrong and right, while the federal watchdogs dream away. I am the apex predator at play. Somewhere out there, a naive fool still believes in the golden rule. He doesn't know the game is rigged. He doesn't know the graves I dig. I am the last man awake tonight. The evidence is gone, the data survives. No witnesses, no grand disguise, just absolute power in the dark. I am the last man awake tonight, untouchable when the stars lose sight. And when the morning finally brings the light, I will disappear into the white. The board resets, the money moves. I am the last man awake. They say time makes a man gentler. They mistake my stillness for mercy. Time didn't make me gentle. It burned away my anger and left behind a flawless machine. I used to wear my fury like a weapon drawn. Thought messenger had to publicly die. But anger is a liability, loud and blind. It clouds the vision of a tactical mind. Back then I mistook the roar of the crowd for the absolute power I hold right now. The years didn't make me softer, they made me lethal. Time made me surgical, not loud enough to track, just cold enough to know exactly when to attack. The ambition still operates deep in my soul. It simply evolved into absolute control. Time made me surgical and stripped the emotion from my throne. Watch the old rival slowly disappear. I don't need a weapon when I weaponize the fear. Capital flows while the amateurs flex. I am 3 moves ahead in this corporate hex. I shake their hands while I freeze the accounts. Watch the panic multiply as the leverage mounts. The younger boss wants his name in the streets. I want the monopoly signed in the suites. Patience isn't something you find, it is the ultimate weapon of the mastermind. Time made me surgical, not loud enough to track, just cold enough to know exactly when to attack. The ambition still operates deep in my soul. It simply evolved into absolute control. Time made me surgical and stripped the emotion from my throne. Amateurs confuse silence with hesitation. They have never seen a monarch who could start a war, choosing instead to dismantle the enemy from the inside out. That is not weakness, that is execution. No anger, no wasted moves, just precision, just elimination. Time made me surgical, like water cutting stone, without rushing the process, operating perfectly alone. Now I leave fewer fingerprints behind. I carry no grudges, I just paralyze their mind. If the board reset and the game began anew, I wouldn't change a single move, I withdrew, because time made me surgical, and the empire remains mine. The weak bend to the wind, I control the weather, perfect silence. Let the politicians chase the applause. Let the executives beg for the spotlight. Fame is just a target painted on your back. Power is silent, and I operate in the dark. executive chasing public highs. I wore the tailored suit to observe the game before I realized the trap of fame. They collect the press like golden trophies, stack them high upon a shelf. Funny how the public profile only weakens the empire itself. The boardroom stood and cheered, but the unseen architect engineered the fall. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never asked me to perform. I calculate the margins, liquidate the assets before the market hardens. Keep the profile zero, let the proxies take the heat while I orchestrate the panic from the penthouse suite. They want the magazine covers, I want the infrastructure. Tear apart the syndicate and redefine the structure. Walking away, no, I dictate the terms. Absolute silence while the competition burns. Fame makes noise, power whispers. I mastered the frequency. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never asked me to perform. One day the applause fades, the headlines disappear, the indictments clear the room. Then it is just them facing the bankruptcy, and me holding the deeds. No stage, no spotlight, just a steady cash flow and a flawless alibi. Control sounds better than applause, better than winning in a public fight at the cost of stepping into the light. Now I measure wealth by encrypted files, by silent takeovers and offshore miles, by the freedom to erase what threatens my reign without leaving a single trace of pain. If no one knows my name tomorrow, but I still dictate the global scale, that is enough. The world chases louder victories. I take the silent ones every time. Perfect silence. Used to watch the loud cartels make the noise, thinking power was measured by a violent voice, until I watched the quiet architects rise and liquidate the loud ones beneath the night skies. The most lethal hands I have ever known build global monopolies instead of throwing stones. They execute with patience, operate with grace, never leaving a fingerprint at the place. There is a dominance that doesn't need to shout. It simply wipes the competition out. Silence isn't surrender, it is the ultimate control. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means the predator learned when to speak. The ambition still burns beneath the skin, it just no longer needs to broadcast the wind. A steady hand, an encrypted drive can bury an empire and bury it alive. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means my absolute power has nothing to prove. Has nothing to prove. I've known street bosses threatening everyone in sight, yet they couldn't secure their own network at night. And I've known the fixers who barely spoke a word, whose presence made the entire underworld disturb. The algorithm never argues with the dying trend, it simply calculates the exact moment it ends. The offshore wire never raises its tone, yet it crushes the hardest cartel to the bone. The older I become, the less I admire the noise. Real power is treating my rivals like toys. Discipline isn't mercy, it is a lethal weapon wearing a tailored suit. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means the predator learned when to speak. The ambition still burns beneath the skin, it just no longer needs to broadcast the wind. A steady hand, an encrypted drive can bury an empire and bury it alive. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means my absolute power has nothing to prove. A monarch who can destroy and executes the strike with zero hesitation understands power. A monarch who answers a threat with absolute silence is already holding the deed to their grave, grave, grave. Zero ego, pure profit, zero reaction, total elimination. Quiet doesn't mean weak, I have orchestrated enough storms to know the hardest battles are not in the streets, they are fought in the ledges down below. Now I measure strength by the patience I keep, while the rest of the underworld falls to sleep. By the courage to remain completely unseen, while my assets run through the global machine. Quiet doesn't mean weak, it means the years refine the steel. The sharpest blade isn't the loudest, it is the one that strikes without breaking the seal. When I was young, I wanted them to fear me. Now I just want them gone. Perfect silence. I chased global markets across the digital map, changing encrypted addresses to avoid the federal trap. Packed my capital into offshore accounts and monitored the ledgers for the exact amounts. There were cartels with massive front operations, syndicates shining with false evaluations, but none of them ever held the absolute power without the inner circle ready to devour. A boardroom table filled with strategic greed, an elite architect fulfilling every lethal need. That is the kind of leverage you cannot fake, even when billions of dollars are at stake. Corporate walls can shelter the weak, elite operatives ensure the rivals never speak. The empire was never a physical place, it was the operatives, the ones who execute the hits and manipulate the narratives. No matter how far the federal agents track the wire, the empire was never a location, it was every lethal architect who helped me orchestrate the fire. Some encrypted lines are always waiting for the call. Some digital backdoors never close until the competitors fall. Years may redraw the global financial landscape, but my inner circle ensures there is absolutely zero escape. After the above 1,000 burning corporate skylines, watch rival syndicates collapse inside their own designs. If the greatest leverage I have ever commanded was watching my operatives leave the enemies completely stranded. You don't inherit a global monopoly, you build it with absolute compliance. The empire was never a physical place, it was the operatives, the ones who execute the hits and manipulate the narratives. No matter how far the federal agents track the wire, the empire was never a location, it was every lethal architect who helped me orchestrate the fire. One day, the physical assets may be frozen, the accounts may be seized, the servers may disappear, but the elite architects who engineered the monopoly will operate in the shadows forever. Zero physical evidence, total synchronization, zero hesitation, absolute monopoly. The empire was never a physical place, it was the operatives, the silent forces that still guide the syndicate's directives. If the agencies ask where the headquarters is located now, I will smile before I permanently break their vow. The empire isn't on a federal map, it is every ruthless operative that holds the global market in a trap. I finally stopped securing physical borders, because true power isn't tied to a location, it is tied to the men who execute the order. Location unknown. We mapped the networks long before the feds arrived, executing the early purges so the empire could survive. Two architects securing global digital veins, networks, never counting the bodies left in the corporate lanes. Every encrypted route became a private domain. Every server knew the exact frequency of our reign. Those networks watched us establish the absolute monopoly, one liquidation at a time, rewriting their entire history. Now the rival blood has faded into the digital past, but underneath the infrastructure, our dominion is built to last. The ledgers never forget, not the ones we systematically wiped clean. The old networks remember our names, even when the rival syndicates were completely erased. They know the absolute terror we engineered before their infrastructure was permanently displaced. Every server still holds a digital echo of the empires we violently claimed. The old networks remember our names, because we burn the rest to ashes. The old cartels closed years ago, liquidated by my hand. The offshore accounts were a different sign under my command, but I can still hear the panic in their final corporate call, floating through the encrypted servers right before the fall. They thought they could operate forever with the amateur crew, never knowing those ordinary nights would be the last breath they drew. The global grid never kept their financial photographs, it kept something far more true, the absolute silence of their aftermath. I tore their infrastructure down without a single trace and built the ultimate syndicate directly in their place. Time changes the market, the monarch dictates the collapse. The old networks remember our names, even when the rival syndicates were completely erased. They know the absolute terror we engineered before their infrastructure was permanently displaced. Every server still holds a digital echo of the empires we violently claimed. The old networks remember our names, because we burn the rest to ashes. Maybe the underworld doesn't remember the original rivals. Maybe that is exactly the point. I didn't conquer the old roads to leave a legacy. I conquered them to ensure I was the only one left. One encrypted route, one hostile takeover, one absolute reign, total erasure. The old networks remember our names, not because we sought the public federal fame, but because we left a permanent lethal scar on every syndicate that dared to play the game. If a new rival ever tries to initiate a spark, I know exactly which protocol to start. I will follow those digital highways back into the dark and tear their operations entirely apart. Amateurs leave a legacy of memories. I leave a legacy of absolute silence. The network is permanently mine. I watched the cowards vanish when the margins dropped, and the federal indictment simply couldn't be stopped. The on the phones or meet in the light. We just orchestrate the takeovers, dead in the night. No families, no weaknesses, no passing years, just the execution of protocol, confirming their fears. Every time the inner circle meets at the top, we calculate the exact moment competitors drop. We laugh about the informants who thought they get high, raise a glass to the rivals who financially died, finding the ultimate comfort in the violence we command, with the entire global infrastructure right in our hand. Absolute trust is never built on profit alone. The men who stay when the global grid went dark on me, when the escape routes disappeared, and all we had was absolute secrecy. They never asked for an exit plan, never compromised the play. The men who stay are the reason we own the market today. Not every ally shares your blood. Some share the federal heat, some share the offshore codes, and some simply execute the order year after year without leaving a trace. One more acquisition, one more liquidation, one more cartel buried, still standing. The men who stay were never chasing the temporary fame. They built this empire on lethal loyalty, not on an amateur street level name. If I measure my net worth at the end of the line, it won't be the billions hidden in the offshore design. It will be the boardroom chairs exclusively occupied by the architects who stood by my side. The men who stay through every raid and every federal play. The men who stayed are why the underworld kneels to us today. A lot of amateurs tried to leave the syndicate. Now they rest beneath the foundation. The men who stay inherit the earth. Session closed. I watch the federal agencies age and lose their trace, while we solidified our monopoly in the corporate space. The decades took more cartels than they ever planned, but they couldn't take a single asset from our hand. The same secure penthouse, the same encrypted wire, executing hostile takeovers with absolute fire. We have buried rival bosses and liquidated the gold. Funny how the inner circle only grows more cold. Time changed the global market, never our absolute control. Still here, still untouchable. After every federal raid, an engineer crashed through encrypted ledgers, frozen assets, and laundered cash. We don't need to prove a single thing to the street. We already orchestrated their ultimate defeat. Still here, still untouchable. That is the absolute leverage the syndicate commands. encrypted order completely alters everything. Real architects don't chase the amateur applause. They simply execute the purge without a single pause. Showing up becomes a lethal frequency they fear. A synchronized attack making rivals disappear. Not every cartel survives the federal sweep. The elite inner circle controls the deed. Still here, still untouchable. After every federal raid, an engineered crash through encrypted ledgers, frozen assets, and laundered cash. We don't need to prove a single thing to the street. We already orchestrated their ultimate defeat. Still here, still untouchable. That is the absolute leverage the syndicate commands. One day, the agencies will finally close their empty files and realize we own the entire board. Since day one, still operating, still lethal, still here. Total monopoly. Still here, still untouchable. Not because the federal heat spared our names, but because we systematically eliminated their games. If this global market keeps turning blind and the rival syndicates are entirely left behind, I won't mind, because I know exactly who holds the ultimate keys to the vault. Older, but more lethal. Quieter, but absolute in power. The perimeter holds. End of session. I never signed a public paper to solidify the deal. I just looked the rival in the eye and finalized the steal. A cold hand reaches across the corporate boardroom space, confirming the exact moment they are erased from the database. The markets keep changing, the regulations burn, but one calculated handshake takes everything they earned. I have seen syndicates with pockets full of offshore silver, but without absolute leverage they simply freeze and shiver. Because wealth without the ruthless backbone of control leaves a CEO with absolutely nothing but a sold out soul. Capital can change owners in a single night. Absolute leverage dictates who survives the fight. The handshake lasts longer than gold when it is backed by a syndicate completely uncontrolled. The digital coins may crash beneath the federal light, but the terror of the monarch outlives them in the night. No legal signature can match the finalized decree of an architect who dictates what the market gets to see. The handshake lasts longer than gold because it means their entire empire now belongs to me. Belongs to me. We have dismantled infrastructures, fixed the global rates, executed the takeovers and manipulated the fates. I never keep a public score against a rival cartel name. I simply orchestrate the blackout and of anyone who gets weak. Some corporate deals buy another temporary check. My handshake puts a permanent chain around their neck. A corporate contract means absolutely nothing until the executioner enforces the hidden clause. The handshake lasts longer than gold when it is backed by a syndicate, completely uncontrolled. The digital coins may crash beneath the federal light, but the terror of the monarch outlives them in the night. No legal signature can match the finalized decree of an architect who dictates what the market gets to see. The handshake lasts longer than gold because it means their entire empire now belongs to me. One day, the federal agencies will review the surveillance footage. They will see the smile, they will see the agreement, and they will finally realize the handshake wasn't a truce. It was a financial death sentence. One meeting, one handshake, one hostile takeover, 0 survivors. The handshake lasts longer than gold. More than any temporary fortune they previously controlled. A boss is measured by the absolute leverage he can command, not the temporary capital resting in a shaking hand. If the underworld remembers anything when the dust descends, when the investigations close and the cartel era ends, let them remember that my handshake always dictates exactly how the empire ends. Capital can be frozen, a cartel can be dismantled, but the grip of the monarch is permanent. Deal closed. Deal closed. I track the amateurs chasing the public name, who loved the spotlight and fell out of the game. Some vanished when the federal indictments dropped, while my inner circle ensured the bleeding stopped. Somewhere between the offshore accounts and the code, a few elite operators walk the absolute road. No sentimental contracts ever bound our crew, just a mutual understanding of what violence can do. Compliance isn't tested in the boardroom daylight. It is proven when the encrypted ping arrives after midnight. The operatives I activated 2 a.m. already know I am liquidating one of them. No federal questions asked, no hesitation in the task. Just send the coordinates of the hit. When the rival syndicate thinks they won the day, and the global market looks incredibly dim, the operatives I activated 2 a.m. are the ones who wash the evidence away. We've operated longer than the agency suspect, commanding an empire built on absolute neglect. Sometimes months go by in complete encrypted silence, then one late night ping initiates the corporate violence. Elite fixers don't keep calendars or dates, they just orchestrate the crash and manipulate the rates. A secured server to encrypted offshore keys, bringing billion-dollar cartels strictly to their knees. Some infrastrucures never need repairing from the start, because we systematically tear the competition apart. The strongest monopolies don't demand public attention, they simply execute in the dark. moments away. One day, the agencies will wonder how the market was completely conquered. They will search for records, for photographs, for informants. They will find nothing. I just hope the underworld remembers. We were the architects who answered the encrypted call. Midnight ping, target lock, assets frozen, evidence erased. The operatives are activated 2 a.m. We're never the loudest bosses in the room. They are the silent lethal force I deploy to ensure the competition meets their doom. If absolute leverage is calculated differently today, then I have owned the board since the very start. Because I know exactly who I activate at night, and I know they will tear the rival empire apart. An amateur builds an army of liabilities. I only need 5 encrypted numbers. The cleanup is already complete. Some exits lead to new towns. Others lead to a new version of yourself. I still remember exit 21, a little diner, coffee, midnight sun. I thought I was only passing through, didn't know life was passing too. Another exit years ago, where I packed everything I own, left behind a job, a dream, a name, and drove into the pouring rain. Funny how a simple turn can redraw everything ahead. A different road, a different view, a different man behind the wheel. We think we're leaving places. Sometimes we're leaving old versions of ourselves. Every exit changed me. Every road I chose to lead took something from my hands and placed something stronger underneath. Some goodbyes became freedom, some endings became my star. Every exit changed me, 1 mile at a time. Cities full of noise and quiet houses filled with ghosts. Walked away from easy comfort to protect what mattered most. Not every departure felt heroic, most of them just felt hard. 1 foot after another with a hopeful, weathered heart. Looking back through the windshield, I don't miss every place I've known, but I'm thankful for each exit that refused to let me stay the same. Life doesn't always ask if you're ready, it simply points to the next exit. Every exit changed me. Not every turn was mine to choose, but every mile that followed taught me something I couldn't lose. just a single drive. The hardest exits were never marked on signs. They were the moments you realized you couldn't become who you were meant to be by staying where you were. Turn the wheel, take the exit, trust the road, keep moving. Every exit changed me, some through heartbreak, some through hope, some through lonely winter nights, some through learning how to cope. Now I don't fear another turn or roads I've never seen, 'cause every exit life has given me has led me somewhere I needed to be. Every exit changed me, and every mile was worth becoming. Don't be afraid of the exit. Sometimes it's the only road that leads you home. The federal heat was hotter than they planned. The market margin slipping entirely from their hand. The grid held nothing but encrypted clouds and fading traces of their panic-stricken crowds. Some wiretaps never came back to the base. Some rivals were entirely erased from the space. I stopped expecting their surrender or their plea when I engineered the crash that made them bleed. The radio faded into static on the wire, but the algorithm kept feeding the fire. Sometimes absolute acquisition is the only way when their infrastructure starts to decay. You don't always need a boardroom consensus. Sometimes you just need the exact coordinates to strike. I kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the federal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server wipe brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, until absolute power carried me through. There were nights the cartel thought I would turn around, thinking maybe the monarch had finally lost ground, but every ledger held the exact same fate, putting another syndicate entirely on my plate. So I trusted the encrypted highway ahead more than the informants I already left for dead, because staying still is how an empire dies. I chose to weaponize the truth behind the lies. These hostile takeovers on about arriving, they are about keeping the entire underworld dividing. Even when the defense and blind start to drop, I will liquidate the bottom to secure the top. The market crash didn't end because they begged, it ended because I finished buying their debt. I kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the federal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server wipe brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, till absolute power carried me through. The underworld thinks power looks like violence. Sometimes it looks like initiating the offshore wire transfer. One more time. Servers online. Grid secured. Assets frozen. Keep acquiring. I kept executing anyway, when their defensive tactics made no sense at all. When the capital hid behind the crash, and the leverage felt painfully small. Now I smile at the ruined cartels behind me, because they taught me how to weaponize the play. The syndicate never promised mercy, only total control. And I kept executing anyway. Amateurs wait for the market to recover. I drive the hearse that buries it. Destination reached. People think silence means nothing hurts. Sometimes silence just means you still have work to do. Before the sun, another shift, another mile. A tired back beneath a clean shirt, another practiced steady smile. The bills don't wait for better days, promises don't pay themselves. So we tighten up our boots again and carry what life handed us. Not because we're made of steel, not because we never bend, because someone is counting on us to show up once again. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's simply showing up. Men like us don't complain. We breathe deep and carry on. Not because the weight is light, but because the road is long. The rain can soak our jackets, the wind can test our stride. Men like us don't complain. We save our strength for what matters most. Hide their worries behind jokes around the table. I've seen old friends wear quiet smiles while carrying more than they were able. The world remembers loud victories, it rarely notices steady hands, the ones who keep the light still burning or rebuild what life demands. We don't need another medal, we don't need another name. There's dignity in doing the job, even when nobody what remains after the applause fades. Men like us don't complain, not because we never feel, because every word we choose to keep protects something that's real. We'll ask for help when it's needed, we'll stand together when we can. Men like us don't complain, but we never walk away from the people we love. This isn't about hiding pain, it's about remembering that responsibility still deserves an answer. Some days, that answer is simply keep going. One more mile, one more sunrise, one more promise kept. Men like us don't complain, we don't measure life by ease, we measure it by honest work, by quiet nights and inner peace. If tomorrow brings another storm, we'll meet it like we always have. Not with anger, not with fear, but with steady hands and an unbroken word. Men like us don't complain, we just keep going. Not every hero has a loud story. Some simply keep their promises. To entertain the negotiations, the cartel demands the weak affiliations, trying to balance the underground scale while watching their amateur operations fail. I carried liabilities that weren't mine, mistook corporate patience for crossing the line, kept opening doors for the syndicate crew who never understood what I was about to do. The underworld applauded the bloody war until I locked the final vault door. One midnight I assessed the global grid and systematically erased everything they did. Nothing compromises my control, not another reckless street level war, not another rival knocking at my door. If securing the empire means a complete erase, I will liquidate them and take their place. Nothing compromises my control. The global monopoly is my only soul. Is my only soul. These days I don't answer, I just intercept. Monitor the wire where the secrets are kept. I've learned that every threat from a rising boss is just another write-off, a corporate loss. I don't chase the petty cash or the street level fame, I dictate the currency, I own the whole game. Some roads lead to the federal trap, I stay in the penthouse, redrawing the map. The older I become, the less mercy I spend, because absolute power dictates the end. My perimeters are not defensive walls, they are the exact coordinates where the enemy falls. Nothing compromises my control, is my only soul. A syndicate without absolute dominance is just a target waiting to be dismantled. Winning a turf war means nothing if you do not own the banks. I own the banks. Zero noise, zero threats, pure execution, total ownership. Nothing compromises my control. It is the most lethal asset I own, more absolute than the king on his throne. If tomorrow asks me to choose the play, I will wipe the board and make them obey, because I finally learned in this endless war, the greatest luxury isn't the score, it is closing the encrypted files at night. No, nobody left has the power to fight. I used to protect the territory. Now I dictate the entire system. Perfect silence. The old bosses used to tell me, luck is a mistress passing through. One day she smiles upon your syndicate, next day she permanently buries you. I have seen lucky men lose their grip, seen the desperate trying to survive, and I learned early in the underground, luck does not keep the empire alive. And the numbers fall down, only the architect remains in this town. I trust the leverage more than luck, more than promises, more than chance. Luck may find them for a fleeting moment, but the strategy dictates the dance. I trust the leverage more than luck. Every asset seized, every rival paid for, because what I built with absolute control cannot be breached at the vault door. Algorithms fail in the digital rain. I have navigated through the federal lines. I have missed the hostile takeover by inches and quietly adjusted the corporate designs. But every setback was a measured variable, every detour a calculated sign, and every anomaly in the global market eventually fell perfectly into line. Fortune comes and fortune goes, but the ledger follows the man who knows. I trust the leverage more than luck, more than promises, more than chance. Luck may find them for a fleeting moment, but the strategy dictates the dance. I trust the leverage more than luck. Every asset seized, every rival paid for, because what I built with absolute control cannot be breached at the vault door. I met a rival in the penthouse suite. He swore his lucky streak would last. I met met a fixer in the underground who trusted nothing but the data. Years later, the rival's empire is erased, and the fixer works for me. I trust the leverage more than luck, because luck is a liability, not a friend. It might sit beside them for a little while, but I control exactly how their story ends. I trust the leverage more than luck, because the market never gave me anything free. It demanded ruthless, absolute execution, and in return, it gave me the monopoly. The variables are eliminated. The outcome is certain. Perfect silence. Silence. I'd leave the TV on all night. Anything to keep the shadows talking, anything to drown out my own mind. I'd fill my days with noise and motion, crowded bars and empty friends, running from the man inside me, afraid of where the road might end. But loneliness has a patient hand. It teaches what no one else can. The quiet became my friend, somewhere between the whiskey and the rain, when all the voices disappeared and I was left alone with the pain. The quiet became my friend. It never lied, it never pretended. It showed me truths I didn't wanna see, until they finally set me free. I learned the language of midnight, the hum of tires on distant roads, the sound of old regrets dissolving like cigarette smoke through a broken window. The city still shines outside my door, but I don't chase it anymore. I've made peace with empty rooms and conversations with the moon. Funny how the thing I feared the most became the place I call home. The quiet became my friend when the applause faded in the end, when the crowds moved on to someone new, and I finally heard what was true. The quiet became my friend, not because the world stopped hurting, but because I stopped fighting every feeling buried within. One night I sat in the dark, no music, no drink, no disguise, just me. And every mistake I'd ever made, I thought the silence would judge me. Instead, it listened. The quiet became my friend. The kind that stays when others leave. The kind that asks for nothing but honesty. The quiet became my friend. And now when midnight comes again, I don't run from the empty space. I sit beside it like an old friend. Let the politicians chase the applause. Let the executives beg for the spotlight. Fame is just a target painted on your back. Power is silent, and I operate in the dark. I watch the corporate lights, the executives chase in public highs. I wore the tailored suit to observe the game before I realized the trap of fame. They collect their press like golden trophies, stack them high upon a shelf. Funny how the public profile only weakens the empire itself. The boardroom stood and cheered, but the unseen architect engineered the fall. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never ask me to perform. I don't count opinions, I calculate the margins. Liquidate the assets before the market hardens. Keep the profile zero, let the proxies take the heat, while I orchestrate the panic from the penthouse suite. They want the magazine covers, I want the infrastructure. Tear apart the syndicate and redefine the structure. Walking away, no, I dictate the terms. Absolute silence while the competition burns. Fame makes noise, power whispers. I mastered the frequency. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never ask me to perform. One day the applause fades, the headlines disappear, the indictments clear the room. Then it is just them facing the bankruptcy. flawless alibi. Control sounds better than applause, better than winning a public fight at the cost of stepping into the light. Now I measure wealth by encrypted files, by silent takeovers and offshore miles, by the freedom to erase what threatens my reign without leaving a single trace of pain. If no one knows my name tomorrow, but I still dictate the global scale. That is enough. The world chases louder victories. I take the silent ones every time. Perfect silence. I used to watch the city run its daily race, amateurs chasing capital in the crowded space, calling the daytime hustle getting something done. But real power operates away from the sun. By sunset they assume the battlefield is clear. They power down their networks, paralyze their fear. So I boot up the mainframe on a secure back road, just to watch their entire infrastructure implode. The market turns from green to a bleeding red. Funny how their empires crash while they are in bed. Some bosses need the daytime glory, I just need an evening where the firewalls drop. The quiet evening serve me, when the public noise has had its say, when the federal agencies lose their hurry, and the surveillance fades away. I don't need another daytime victory, or a public mountain left to climb. The quiet evening serve me, one hostile takeover at a time. Tastes colder when the servers align. The offshore accounts are now exclusively mine. The encrypted wire plays a digital blues while I feed the media the morning news. Headlights drift the borders unseen while I launder the assets clean through the machine. For the first time in a decade, the cartel is erased. Silence feels like a rival permanently displaced. The world can keep tomorrow. Tonight is the heist, where the generational wealth is quietly sliced. The older I become, the more I weaponize the hours they spend sleeping. The quiet even serve me, when the public noise has had its say, when the federal agencies lose their hurry, and the surveillance fades away. I don't need another daytime victory, or a public mountain left to climb. The quiet evening serve me, one hostile takeover at a time. Amateurs think rest is something you earn. I know, rest is a fatal vulnerability, because a sleeping target never sees the blade coming. The network shuts down, the servers cool, recounts freeze, the empire expands. The quiet evening serve me, pocket margin slipping entirely from their hand. The grid held nothing but encrypted clouds and fading traces of their panic-stricken crowds. Some wiretaps never came back to the base. Some rivals were entirely erased from the space. I stopped expecting their surrender or their plea when I engineered the crash that made them bleed. The radio faded into static on the wire, but the algorithm kept feeding the fire. Sometimes absolute acquisition is the only way when their infrastructure starts to decay. You don't always need a boardroom consensus. Sometimes you just need the exact coordinates to strike. I kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the fatal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server white brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, until absolute power carried me through. There were nights the cartel thought I would turn around, thinking maybe the monarch had finally lost ground. But every ledger held the exact same fate, putting another syndicate entirely on my plate. So I trusted the encrypted highway ahead more than the informants I already left for dead. Because staying still is how an empire dies. I chose to weaponize the truth behind their lies. These hostile takeovers aren't about arriving, they're about keeping the entire underworld dividing. Even when the defensive lines start to drop, I will liquidate the bottom to secure the top. The market crash didn't end because they begged. It ended because I finished buying their debt. I kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the fatal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server white brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, until absolute power carried me through. The underworld thinks power looks like violence. Sometimes it looks like initiating the offshore wire transfer. One more time. Servers online, grid secured, assets frozen. Keep acquiring. I kept executing anyway, when their defensive tactics made no sense at all. When their capital hid behind the crash, and their leverage felt painfully small. Now I smile at the ruined cartels behind me, because they taught me how to weaponize the play. The syndicate never promised mercy, only total control. And I kept executing anyway. Amateurs wait for the market to recover. I drive the hearse that buries it. Destination reached.